Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and today's video was a really difficult video for me to make because I wanted to talk about Street Fighter, and unfortunately in the previous couple of weeks it's been difficult to do that without getting forced into a Guilty Gear Strive conversation slash discussion. And obviously the game came out recently, a lot of people are having fun with it, the game itself is actually really good and I like it a lot. However, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, in the previous couple of days I've been enjoying playing Street Fighter a lot. And when you really think about it, for someone like me, that shouldn't make that much sense. Because I live in a region that is not very dense, so the online experience on Strive is a lot better. Obviously the game is new and everyone is learning, so that is really fun. And another aspect, and it's one that I don't want to talk about that much, but let's be real here. If we're gonna talk about the business point of view, obviously the content for Strive is doing a lot better on the channel than the content for Street Fighter. The viewership in general for Street Fighter is pretty weak at the moment. Even if you check it out on Twitch and such, it's not really doing that well. But instead of getting into the comparisons and talking about what game did what right, I wanted to focus on the positives. I wanted to tell you why I love Street Fighter, because I feel like this is a talk that we need to have. And the first part is honestly the characters. I love Street Fighter because I love Cody. I love Street Fighter because I love Chun-Li. I love Street Fighter because I love Mika, because I love Poison, Ken, Kami, Gael, Ryu, Kage, and so many others. It's so obvious when you see a lot of my videos that I'm genuinely passionate about Street Fighter in general. I might like Kai or Chip, but I love many of the Street Fighter characters. In my fighting games tier list, I talked about Injustice 2. And during that video I said that I had some gripes with the mechanical designs, like the mechanical design of the combat of Injustice 2, but I also said that I loved Injustice 1 and I played it for like a long time. And mechanically Injustice 1 and 2 are very similar, but you know what is the biggest differences? Injustice 1 enabled you to play as the good versions of the superheroes. And Superman was actually my favorite superhero, and being able to play as the good Superman went a long way in making me enjoy the game. Having characters that you love is a very important element of any video game, right? And it's just not the characters themselves, it is the designs. I love that Cody is a really chill guy. That's not really vulgar, right? Like if you compare him to Johnny Cage, it's like I hate the vulgar nature, swear words, all of this garbage. I really don't like it, right? While Cody, for example, is very chill. We all love Chun-Li, right? The women in Street Fighter 5 is very attractive. We are very thick. We all know that. Some people may love that. Some people may not care for that. But I find all of this stuff to be really appealing. We all love Chun-Li, right? But it's not just all about the characters. The gameplay also go a very long way on making you genuinely enjoy yourself. And I believe that the gameplay in a fighting game is very special. It's pretty much a conversation between two people, right? And you can often tell so much about someone's personality just based on how they play. You can tell when someone is frustrated. You can tell who is patient and who is an impatient person. You can tell that who is a risk taker and who play too conservative. You can tell who gets scared. You can tell who is a coward, etc., etc. You can often tell or know so much about a person just based on how they play. And I feel like the grounded, slow gameplay of Street Fighter is honestly the most expressive when it comes to the player personality, right? I know that so many people say Street Fighter doesn't let you be expressive, but they mostly mean that the game doesn't allow you to play in many ways. But I genuinely, honestly think that it does. I really do. So being able to play in ways that fulfills me as a person, because I'm a very analytical person. I like to break down things. I like to know exactly what I'm doing, assess the situation, know the risks and reward before I make an informed decision. So Street Fighter caters so much to this. It's also part of why I said that I loved Grand Blue, right? Because Grand Blue was kind of the same deal. It was also a game that was very slow and very calculated, and I find that to be really enjoyable. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Just doing one really awesome whiff punish, for example, in Street Fighter, feels for me 10 times more fulfilling than doing the sickest mix-up or set play, whatever you want to do, or like doing the sickest RC combo. But that's just me, right? And everyone has their own tastes, obviously. So gameplay for me goes a long way. And Street Fighter have the characters, they have the gameplay, and finally, the art style and the music. And I've come to realize that my favorite art style, I guess maybe you can call it 3D anime, maybe? It is the art style that's pretty much found in Street Fighter 5, or for example, the KOF 15, the Devil May Cry 4, or the Ninja Gaiden, where the characters, they look like soft anime 3D models, but they're not like totally anime, but at the same time they are not realistic looking characters. I don't know how else to describe it, but I just want to tell you that, and I believe I said that in my video games, fighting games tier list, I hate when they use real life models for video game characters. For example, I talked about how I don't like that in Mortal Kombat 11. I feel like it betrays the medium because, for example, in video games, you can literally create any model with any features you want, right? You have infinite creativity, so why settle for someone that you can just see down the street? For me, it feels like it's doing a disservice to the video games as a medium in general. And I'm also not the biggest fan of the anime art style, for example, so it's like the proper anime like that is used in Guilty Gear or the Arc System game in general. I would say I'm indifferent to anime. I don't typically watch any, to be honest, but I don't hate it either or like make fun of it, but I'm not like, I don't actively seek anime or watch it or are watching any animes at the moment. So the art style is something that I found to be quite enjoyable, and it's actually one of these things that worries me about Street Fighter 6 because I have a feeling they will go for the Resident Evil remakes and Devil May Cry 5 routes, but we will see about that. And finally, obviously, the music. I just love the music style in Street Fighter. There's so many versions to it, but obviously, I found many of these soundtracks to be extremely enjoyable. I do think Street Fighter honestly has the best music of a current game. I even think it's a lot better than Strive. I think Strive has 3 really good themes, which is the game main theme, the smell of the game, and the theme for Shib, and the theme for Nagoriyuki. These are the ones that I think are really good. Everyone else is take it or leave it. I honestly don't think anyone else is that special, at least that is my opinion. While in Street Fighter, I would say that I love Balrog's theme, Cody, there are so many, like Zeku, Karen, Fang, there are so many soundtracks in Street Fighter 5 that I think are really, really special. And that is pretty much it. I just wanted to express why I love this series, because this is a game that I keep coming back to. Regardless of whether we're talking about Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5, I went through the same cycles with both of these games, where sometimes other games will, attract me for a little bit, but I always come back to Street Fighter. It's kinda like the Toy Story movie. If you remember from the Toy Story, there was a very famous scene where Andy throws Woody in the bin, and he's having a lot of fun with Buzz, but at the end of the day, he always comes back to Woody, and Woody will always be his favorite toy. And for me, Street Fighter will always be my favorite fighting game. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page and Discord server page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.